Hello everybody and welcome back to the Traumatised Pineapple Podcast. I am Adam. You can find me at AdamIsTalking_ on Twitter.
And I'm Sam from LC Productions.
And I'm Inky Doodle, and you can find me floating in a rock in space.
Oh, on a rock or in a rock?
In a rock in space.
Oh, it's a fossil.
It's a fossilized Taylor. Okay, so today we're talking about news because
I thought it was games.
we ran out of ideas.
No,
Okay.
we're talking about news.
We're talking about news.
News
I thought that was
and
just the icebreaker.
news.
No, that's...
Okay.
The icebreaker is not news. The icebreaker is something Taylor's.
Hello.
Oh
Coming
yeah,
up
Taylor
with.
has an icebreaker.
So a while ago, I wrote this down because I thought of a funny idea, and I go, do you know what? I think my two great friends would appreciate this hypothetical.
Sam.
And Adam. That's three. So it's just Sam and Adam.
Okay.
Your alter ego isn't part of this.
Your alter ego, also called Sam, and that acts exactly the same.
Yeah. Just your ego.
Oh, that was one of the... I came up with a really good Would You Rather for last episode, but I forgot about it when I was coming up with them last night, but...
I know.
I know, I
Do
just
it now.
remembered it.
Do it now while we're...
Okay. Would you rather find out that there is like a miniature cult that's secretly following you,
This is...
right?
Is that the one that you joined?
Yeah.
So would you rather find out
And
that
there's that one on the bingo card.
Yeah.
would you rather find out
We're
there's a
totally making
secret
that
cult
prediction.
following you, or that there is one person that's obsessed and pretending like entirely to be you?
Oh, the first one for sure.
Like a secret cult that's following you, like
Depends what
worships
the
you.
secret cult wanted. I've done a short film about that and it was rubbish.
Oh.
We had some issues with, well, just about everything. I think my favourite description of how badly this went was we lost 3 out of 2 cast members.
Oh, right.
Oh. Well, they all died.
No, but 2 of them quit and one of them got stuck on a train. So one of the people in my group had to fill in.
And they're still on the train to this day.
And that meant me and him had to swap the scenes we were running the cinematography for because he couldn't act in a scene that was supposed to be filmed as a continuous shot that we were doing as a tracking shot. And then we forgot to get any kind of like stabilization stuff out, so it was awful. And we put it in black and white just so it looked slightly less shaky. Miraculously, we passed the module.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah.
Just about. It was not a strong pass.
Okay, so should we go to
Yes.
Taylor's?
Taylor's thing.
Oh, no, we didn't
almost
answer
3
Sam.
minutes.
We didn't answer Sam's.
So a cult that follows you.
No, let me
Or-
reword it. Because would you rather have a tiny fan base, or would you rather have someone commit identity fraud against you?
I guess
Depends what the
that's
cult
similar.
does, if I'm being honest.
Just like worshipping you like a god. So if you were to actually,
So a YouTube fan base.
yeah, they just like play your videos in the center and they all get around it and
And
just
hum like a really low.
Hi there, everyone. This is
Hello, wonderful people. Welcome back to another episode.
What sort of things would the imposter do?
well, I guess that they just pretend to be you, like for themselves.
The
They
people
like
for
get
themselves.
clothes that look like
They're
you
not like going.
and-
They're not using your credit card. Because if
they just kind of pretend to be you. They got their haircut that looks
convincing
exactly
are
like
they?
yours.
how convincing are they?
Heck. I think haircut that looks exactly like mine is a
I don't
is
think
a contradiction.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't
Yeah.
think
Hair
cut.
uncut.
Yeah.
Grow their hair to look like Adam's would
Yeah.
be the correct term.
Yeah, how convincing are they? Because if there was like a one-to-one
Well, it's
replica,
more. Oh, no,
Are
not
they
that convincing.
actively trying to impersonate you and replace you in public consciousness, or are they just like acting like you?
They're just acting like you for their own
So-
crazy.
Oh,
oh,
yeah,
oh.
I'll go for that one then.
okay, so would you rather have a fan base of like maybe 10 or more people, or just one
that are
fan,
obsessed with you,
or one fan that's just obsessed with you?
or one fan that's like.
I'm pretty sure you'd
obsessed.
go with the 10.
Yeah.
I know.
Anywho, what's your icebreaker, Taylor?
It's extra 10
That
subscribers.
was the thing that Sam.
It's extra
forgot.
10 subscribers. Anyway, so it's a bit detailed. I'll
Okay.
start.
I
It's,
just
Okay,
saw
that's
how
fine,
long
we've
it
got
was.
yes. You wake up to find a finely woven black linen pillowcase tightly tied around your neck. It's over your head as well. I forgot to mention.
Just tie it around like a scarf.
You have a new bandana. You attempt to take it off, but as soon as you move, you're instantly restrained by what feels like handcuffs. Notified to your consciousness by the sounds you were making, 3 large
Is this a D&D?
No.
Oh.
3 large tubby pinhead men in black suits and sunglasses simultaneously relieve you of your restrainment, one taking off the pillowcase off your head, one removing the handcuffs, and the other remains still, humming a sweet tune to himself. The instant the bag leaves your head, you are blinded for a second as your pupils dilate and adjust to the bright summer sunshine.
Oh.
Once your eyes adjust, you begin to feel the cool metal of the chair you are seated on
Ooh.
and the gentle ups and downs of the boat that you are situated on.
Oh.
It was almost as if you regained your sense of sight. As you regained your sense of sight, you regained your sense of feeling came with it. Finally, after what seemed like forever, your vision is filled with a moustached face with a big grin. He presents you with a metal box with one large red button on it.
Ooh.
And he tells you that as soon as you press this button, the ocean, the entire ocean, 70% of the world turns into milk.
Oh.
I was in, today
There
on
it is.
sentences that I was expecting to end with any other word.
I thought it was going
Rather,
to
sure.
So do you
Nothing? Sure.
Do you
I thought
press
it was
the
gonna
button?
be
No,
like,
I don't press the button.
I thought it was going to be a really elongated way of that old thought process of like you push the button and one random person dies, but you get £1 million. I thought it was just a really
No.
long-winded version of that, but no.
It's full fat milk, by
Milk.
the way. It's full fat milk, by the way.
Well, great.
Oh, that changes
Whatever.
everything.
So do you press the button, Sam? Adam has already said no.
I wouldn't press that.
I would.
That would end the world.
Yeah, I don't think I'd push it because then all the poor sea creatures.
And
And
how does
also,
it work? Because
maybe-
does it just?
It's sort of like one of those effervescent vitamin C tablets, kind of just like a massive bath bomb.
Also, it's like it's not like
giant bath bomb.
it's not like instantly.
But
It just
instead
goes. But it's like over time.
yeah,
it's not like just
it takes like 5
milk.
minutes, but it's all milk.
Still no, because that
I'd do it.
the water is there for a reason. That would kind of end.
be funny.
It would end the world.
It'd be funny.
For about until we run out of water.
All the
Which
cows
drink
would be out
milk.
of business.
Yeah, what
Wait,
did
surely
cows?
you can extract water from milk, can't you? Because
Probably.
isn't milk just loads of water?
Just stick it through one of
And
those
other
water
stuff.
filters.
There must be water in it. You know?
It's probably.
What are those straws that you can like drink anything out of and it'll filter it to pure
Nesquik.
water?
I know.
Wait, it turns into milkshake. Just stick
Well, that
it
would
into
be
the
different.
sea.
If you press the button and it turns to
Yeah,
chocolate milk instead.
it's a second bath bomb that is just a massive, compacted
Oh,
thing of milkshake powder.
okay. Would it change if you could press the button again and at any point it'll change it back to water and then you could press it again and it'll change it back to full
That
fat
might be
Yeah.
useful. You
I-
just
I-
get recruited by the government and they're like, right, we need some more water now. You just go, okay.
Ooh,
2 months later.
We're on a boat.
Yes,
What is
that's very
the
small.
difference between
The density.
the properties with the boat? Because I feel like
I don't
That's a
think
good
the
point.
boat. No, the
Is
boat
there a
would carry on.
possibility that
I
the
think the
boat
boat would
would
carry on
sink?
floating because milk.
full fat milk must be more dense than water.
It's a lot more dense, so you'd stay on top. I think.
Yeah.
Okay, I
Because
don't really
less
know.
dense
the
It was
things,
like
less dense
surface
things
tension.
go up,
Okay.
and
Like-
it has a lot stronger surface tension. Milk does. I'm pretty sure.
I
Because
can't remember
milk is
it.
a lot thicker and stuff.
What about if there was
So if
a
anything, the
little,
boat would rise slightly.
if there was a little keypad and you could turn the ocean into anything you wanted?
You just type in like, does it have to be liquid? Just
It
turn it
could
into
be-
solid chocolate. just someone swimming, and all of a sudden, oh gosh,
Or like
Gas evil hell!
ballistic
I'm
gelatin.
lactose intolerant!
Ballistic gelatin slip. Or
Yeah.
yeah, or
super strong.
what
gel.
about just fresh water instead of salt water?
Which let's face
Oh,
it, that's
all
one
the
of the
fish
most
would
useful.
die.
Yeah,
instantly.
but the fish would be screwed. But face it, if it was all freshwater,
It'd
I
be a
mean,
lot-
us like mammals.
for
would be-
humans,
No,
that would
still,
solve
it would
some
still
issue.
be dirty though, because you got to think of salt deposits on the ground and all
Yeah,
the
but
dirt
it's
and
easier
stuff.
to-
Oh, it's a
easier-
hypothetical
it's easier
situation.
to
I think all the
filter-
salt
it must
would
be
just be
easier to
replaced as
filter
well.
Freshwater than salt.
Oh yeah,
And there
probably.
are freshwater fish, like river
There are, yeah.
salmon and stuff. We just have like massive salmon now.
They would just all.
The salmon the size of a whale.
Yeah,
Can you just
probably.
imagine
Well,
that there's
whales
a
would be
river?
fine anyway.
Oh yeah,
Because
Could you imagine
breathe
it's just
air.
like a whole bunch of salmon, and one of them like every day one of them just goes and tests like, yep, the sea is still salty, and one day's like, oh, the
Oh
sea's
my
not
god!
salty.
Oh my god!
It's time.
Because no, it's like a lot of fish are
Danger
like
of
products,
salmon.
or they're like the sides of their environment. Like alligators,
Yes.
if you keep them in a small box, they'll stay baby sized.
Like if you
their
flush a
entire
goldfish
lives.
down the toilet, it turns into a shark.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, that was a sentence.
But
that was said.
so surely, like,
Gross
because salmon and
surroundings.
that are salmon and all them fish
Salmon.
are like they're in rivers. So this is stupid.
this is the best, worst, stupidest.
This is what the podcast is going to be now.
So,
Forget
yeah.
about news.
Forget that.
We're going to
This
be
is-
talking about liquids.
We are going to talk
The
this
summary-
is our podcast about fish.
The summary
Not
of the
the singer.
icebreaker is that I'm the only one that would turn the entire ocean into full fat milk.
Is that because, do you just really like full-fat milk?
I would rather not end the world.
I would.
What about
If we colonised Mars first, I feel like it's milk.
So if you could like...
Alright, Elon.
So if you could pick any liquid or solid or anything, what if you just turned it into like solid stone? And it would just be like, right, now we have loads more surface area for housing and
no
stuff like that. Also no water.
Which is an issue.
Or...
I might ask
maybe
Elon
not.
Musk
Turn it
whether he'd,
all.
I'll ask Elon Musk what he would turn the ocean into.
Everybody tweet at Elon Musk. Would you rather... would you
Although-
turn the entire
All
ocean...
three of you.
Yeah. Or would you... It's us.
Not including Taylor and me.
Would you
turn,
rather...
like, the entire oceon into milk or another solid / liquid / what about gas? Imagine you just turn it into like helium.
Evaporate.
You just turn it into helium and like it starts lifting up loads of fish and stuff. Like, oh no, the fish are flying.
Helium fish.
Like, they breathe. They breathe water, so there'll be water in their like lungs and stuff, or whatever fish have. So
or if you turned it to helium and then water, like half of it to helium, half of it to water, and the helium's
helium
somehow
water, the liquid form of helium.
Yeah,
Which
liquid
would be
helium.
very cold.
Yeah, they could.
Quite low.
Yeah, must have been pretty low.
I don't
Pretty
know.
low.
It must be very low.
Condensation point.
Boiling point.
Yeah.
You turn it into like liquid oxygen.
Ooh.
That'd be weird.
Remember,
You could just, like,
we can breathe underwater.
Take a cup, heat it up, and then just.
That's
breathe
not how
it.
liquid oxygen works.
Also, most of the air isn't oxygen.
Yeah.
What
Liquid air.
What other weird things could you turn?
But yeah,
the
just,
ocean
that's
into?
it. We just replace the whole thing with liquid nitrogen. Freeze
I know
the
what
air.
I know what we could turn the ocean into. An entertaining podcast.
Shame, because we can't do one of those without.
What if you turned it into
What if you turned it into fish?
turn the ocean into just loads of fish?
Salmon, all salmon.
Or one giant fish,
Oh, I swear that should be like a
and the tail's just like
mythical tale. Where
the tail is just like over
some.
some country, and every time it flops, it just like, creates a miniature earthquake.
Yeah, there's probably something in like Scottish legend.
Or Japanese, I'd say.
It is
Yeah,
said
one of
that
the two.
on the
Those are the countries with the
17th
two
blue
weirdest
moon,
Yeah.
the ocean turns into a giant fish
The Earth is a giant fish.
on the back of a
Mount Everest
turtle.
is its tail.
Is that Terry Pratchett?
Oh yeah, it is, isn't it?
kind of, yeah. Well, that's like it's a disc.
That's
disc
disc.
world.
Sorry, not
Discworld. Or
Yeah.
Flat Earth, isn't it?
That's where the flat Earth theory came from.
Terry
There you
Pratchett.
go.
Terry
The
Pratchett,
founder of
Flat
the-
Earth bit. Well, you joke, but bearing in mind that the founder of Scientology actually was a sci-fi writer,
Oh, yeah,
because
that's
that really because write science fiction really adds credibility to this is all real life.
Yeah.
What is Scientology again?
I think it's
Real.
bullshit.
Yeah, that's the word.
That's the
I
one.
mean, like, what is the idea behind
It's
it?
a cult,
and stuff?
Sam. It's
Yeah, pretty much.
like an actual cult, like
They
an actual
believe
dangerous
They believe
cult.
what?
Something alien, something.
Dark side.
Oh, it's all about you can do like readings. I don't quite know what it's about, but Tom Cruise is one.
Yeah, he's a Scientologist.
So surprisingly,
Tom Cruise is a Scientology.
and unbelievably, the Smith family isn't.
So you're making all these jokes about Scientology, but you don't know what it is.
It's not very.
I cannot
good.
remember any specific beliefs. It's a religion, but it's a cult.
He was
But
doing. He was doing air
originally-
quotes. He was doing air
What
quotes the whole
A
time.
cult about
Alien.
control. It's because that's
Yeah.
all that they're actually about. It's something's allegedly there's some stuff with aliens that they deny, but everyone who's left the church of Scientology has said, yeah, that's the real thing, and then they don't. They're just
So confused.
Yeah, same.
I don't
So are
know.
they. To be honest.
So are they.
To be fair.
Okay, so
But it
should we get
explains
onto
why
the
Tom Cruise
main
is so cool.
part of this podcast?
Please,
Right.
I'm tired of talking about fish.
Today we are talking about fish.
What about
I'm out of here.
fish milk? If you find a fish with teats and then milk it. for
No,
fish milk.
Sam.
So today we're talking about news.
Traumatized Pineapple, episode 7. Fish teats.
Today it's the very
Fish milk.
traumatized, the emotionally traumatized.
Traumatized Taylor podcast. Where
For
we
what it's
talk about
worth, I
fish
think
nipples.
we do in fact have a pineapple in the kitchen.
Special guest pineapple.
Traumatized. The Traumatized Place podcast, because that begins with a P. So we won't have to change the TPP. We can just say Traumatized Place podcast.
Help.
So we're talking about news today.
Yes.
Yes.
Should we start off with the...
Let's talk over the news that I brought up and they both groaned.
The spawn of the new spawn of the royal
The royals
family.
had a baby again.
What about the wedding as well? Because that's
Can they
also...
not-
That
Can they not just
is
take a
few
break?
years. No, they haven't.
In a few
Family
years.
Three's pretty.
I thought the wedding is like soon.
Wedding's in a few weeks.
Yeah. I thought you said a few
I think-
years. I was like,
I did
no,
not.
soon.
They've had enough babies, I think.
Oh yeah, they won't have any more after this.
Three's kind of
You
an
say
average
that.
number, I'd say.
Well, I think they've pretty much said that they've. I'm not going to, but like some people thought they should have like they didn't. A lot of people were like they didn't. Why are they having another one? They don't need another one because we have an heir. Well, they refer to as an heir and a spare.
An hour and wow.
But like then, what I like about them is actually the current, especially the younger generation of the royal family are quite normal. Comparatively to sort of historically, like they've become much more humanized over the last sort of few decades. And like that means cool, they've had a baby.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just it's kind of a nice thing. Like that's the truth. It's like it's a thing that happened.
Have they came up with their name yet? Because they haven't.
Well, I'm sure he has a name. We don't know the name yet. Still. I think current favourites are. I think the current sort of bookmaker favourite is Arthur.
Oh, King Arthur. Here we go. I wish they did like a poll on the internet because I know that goes well every single time.
Princey McPrince face.
The child
No,
formerly
no.
known as, the child formerly known as Prince.
That's a fair point. Because what if once we have Charles as king, it will be the artist formerly known as Prince.
Yeah, Arthur's formerly known. Yeah.
To be fair, one of the Queen's kids, he did drama and stuff. Prince Edward.
How many children does the Queen have?
4.
That's
Oh.
cool. Do
Can you name them all?
that it's like
I can't remember. I think it's
Are
Charles.
they all sons?
No, it's Charles, then Anne.
That was
Oh,
like
yeah.
horrible
the
history.
one daughter. Then it's Andrew and Edward. I can't remember which way around.
Do you think that there's like a?
I know practically nothing about the royal family.
Do you reckon there's like a specific set of names that they have to choose from, or do they just choose like fish around
I think
in
they're
the same
always
hat?
likely to go.
Do they have to be English names? Can they have like Raj or something?
I think the generally, I think they will pull from a certain selection of names.
I wonder what the most used name is.
They don't necessarily have to.
I wonder what the
think
most
they
used
generally
royal name is, and then you'd end up with like King something the 17th.
Well, most of them change names when they become king. Like Charles won't be King Charles. He will almost definitely be King George the 8th or 9th.
That's
Yeah,
interesting.
it's normal.
That's weird.
The current queen.
Why do they have to change their name?
They don't have to. It's sort of generally they do.
Why?
Well, bearing in mind, in Charles' case, bearing in mind there's been 2 Charleses before. One of them had his head cut off and one of them was a notorious party nut job. I can understand why he was maybe hesitant.
I guess.
That's something you played, isn't it?
I think
Taylor looks like
remember
Matthew
that.
Bainton off of Horrible History.
No, I don't.
It's an old joke, but it's still going strong.
Matthew Bainton.
Yeah, well,
I think
the thing that slightly annoys me, I'm not so much about the baby. That's fine. Like, I mean, that doesn't make headlines that often. Just they've had their baby. One
I think
headline.
they just need to have another baby just to remain a bit relevant, because you don't really hear much
What
about the
annoys-
royal family other than they're having another wedding
when-
they're having another baby.
Yeah. No, what annoys me is
don't really
I
do
Well,
heard.
much.
actually, that's
They don't really
nothing's
do
changing
much.
because the Queen is immortal, basically.
I seriously
She
heard.
could keep going for another 10 years. And
Probably.
that is not unprecedented given that how old her mother was. Like, she could easily end up with another 10 years before she dies.
I heard that.
By which point Charles is almost 80 and probably gets like 20 years tops.
Yeah, exactly.
I told you this before we started the podcast, but I seriously heard on the radio a headline that was included with all the other serious headlines that was literally so-and-so company will be making the cake for the royal wedding and it will be a lemon drizzle cake, I think they said. And I was like, how is that newsworthy?
It's not.
That's
No.
not newsworthy. The fact they're
But
getting
given how
married...
depressing the actual news generally is
Yeah.
nowadays, I'm okay with.
A lemon
There's
drizzle.
more-
Well, I say
In other
depressing, but
news-
lemon drizzle cake is quite depressing.
There's more stuff going on that you
Less
don't realise.
depressing
There's
than
scientific discoveries
depressing
going
than
on.
fruitcake.
There's like scientific discoveries going on every day, and there's loads of other more jolly stuff.
That'd
that
be
they
cool.
could do
a
in
little
the
section
news.
in a radio station where they list all the scientific discoveries made
That'd
that
be
day
cool.
around the world.
Yeah.
Oh, there is a good one. There is a good news report that I read yesterday.
Is this one you told us about before the podcast?
It is not.
Oh.
Ooh.
No, this is the fact that it seems like the US court has finally, after a surprising amount of time, ruled no, a monkey can't own copyright for a picture.
Oh, good.
What?
Have you
You
not
not
heard
heard
about
of
this?
I don't watch the news.
It's not news. It's just like a joke in the photography world. I'm very
not part of
passionate.
the
I'm
photography
very,
world.
very
A
passionate
photographer was
about this
in
subject.
a forest. Jungle.
Rainforest.
A monkey took his camera
And took a
and
photo
took
of
this
himself.
took this selfie. You can't see this selfie.
I'll
Go
put it
look
up on the video.
Hold
I'll put it up on the video
that
now.
That looks so...
Put it up on the
It's no
video.
joke. The monkey picked the camera up. took a
How?
picture.
Is that... It's like
Because
perfectly
big-
aligned and everything.
Luck and
Monkeys have
luck
hands.
and the luck fact that monkeys have hands. Luck and
Posable thumbs.
big shiny thing. Ooh, button. He wasn't trying to take a picture,
No.
obviously.
But it's like such a perfect picture though.
It's a good sell
what
the
are
And
the
when,
chances
and when
chances of that
monkeys
happening?
and when like apes and monkeys bare their teeth, it means they're like concerned or worried about something.
But then Peter, the literal scum of the earth,
yeah,
tried to sue the photographer for claiming copyright, claiming that the monkey owned the copyright.
and this was like this was like an issue.
So
It's been
some-
going on for like 10 plus years.
Some
I think
person...
it's going on
Is
for a
it 10?
couple.
Oh,
So some other person tried to sue the guy who...
And
His camera got
Peter,
taken by the monkey.
animal rights,
Oh.
animal rights, who have been reported of,
I mean, to be
I think,
fair,
killing animals.
to be fair to the
points,
to be fair to the monkey, if you get enough of them, they can write Shakespeare. So
yeah. And like there's so many brilliant little aspects about this. Like there's a quote I'll have to dig out. Like even things like the monkey is called Naruto. The monkey is called Naruto.
well, okay. So someone uses this photograph, and they have to pay copyright. Where's the money going?
To the monkey.
What's he gonna do with it? Save it.
Well, no, because
so
the
he can
monkey
buy- Save
doesn't
it.
own the copyright. The photographer owns
Yeah,
the copyright.
but if-
Peter just didn't think.
But if
thought
Peter
the monkey
won,
should.
the hypothetical situation that Peter won, is the
How
monkey
did he
going
get
to
the
save
camera
up for a
back?
nice car or something?
2015 it started, by the way.
How did he get the camera back off the monkey?
He punched it in the face
Wow.
Get off.
and ran
What?
away. He
Surely the
gave it a
monkey
little
was-
slap.
Normally monkeys don't just hand stuff back. Oh, you're
He's a
right. Sorry,
wildlife
here you go.
photographer. He knows how to handle a monkey.
Oh, okay, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
he wrestled it to the ground.
I think he
He
was
traded
really-
it for it. He gave him a banana. Here you take. Thank you.
I mean,
He just
let's
has
face
a bag of them in case of that.
It probably
Oh,
was
don't worry, I
something
came
like
prepared. Whips out a banana. Trade. Or it's just like an old broken camera. Look, it's the same. Here you go.
The monkey goes, no, not the
Monkey
same.
just runs around taking pictures.
Yeah. I mean, why
That
not?
would be quite cool if monkeys had consciousness. I mean, yeah.
Could you imagine, like, you gave a monkey a video camera that was filming, and it ran off, and it came back another...
Strap a GoPro to like an orangutan or something.
And it came back, like, a few days later, and it had the camera still, and you took it off and watched the footage, and it, like, ran off. And on the footage, the monkey runs off, and then you hear, in the video, the monkey just goes... Right, I think he's gone. We can all carry on acting like we normally do, and all the monkeys just stand up on hind legs and start acting like humans.
Start
It
dancing.
doesn't realise
They all
that
start
the camera's
dancing.
recording. And he like goes into some hollow tree, and there's like an entire house built
Like
by
a
these
city.
monkeys.
That'll be interesting.
He just puts the camera up on a shelf where there's loads of other things they've stolen. He just turns to his wife. He's like, "Judy, come and look at the thing that
Is
I
it- is it
found
like
out in the
live
forest from the
streaming?
humanoids today."
Is
They're like
is
extremely
live streaming?
formal.
Yeah.
It's like
I was trying to
extremely
find this-
formal and civilized.
I'm happy that situation's resolved.
Judith,
itself.
would you like some more tea? Oh yes, please.
No, thank you. I'm on a diet.
Okay, so the monkey took the picture in 2011. In 2015 was when they tried to sue the monkey. No, tried to sue. Wrong way around. Tried to sue.
How the hell?
Tried to sue on behalf of the monkey.
How is
You
that
can
going
just
to work?
imagine like the poor lawyer that gets like some lawyer that
Defending the monkey.
is like, and he says to the monkey, someone asks a question, he leans over to the monkey and says, "You don't have to answer that." Like my client would not like to answer that question.
Shut up.
Who do you want to call to the stand?
I'm just trying to. I found the best quote from it. That's the thing.
It's so stupid, isn't it?
Yes, it's the most absurd thing I think I've ever heard.
But if monkeys
But Peter
get copyright, then where do we draw the line? Do monkeys get arrested for breaking the law?
Yeah, they did at one point, I think.
Do monkeys get
Probably.
Can monkeys have a mortgage?
That'd be cool. They started buying plots of land in rainforests.
Can monkeys own a pet hamster?
Could you imagine like a monkey like with a leash, just like dragging a pet around?
A different species of
It's
monkey.
like-
A monkey.
Different species of monkey.
That's slavery.
Yeah, about to say that.
No, not if it's another species of monkey. If it's a species of monkey
Yeah,
that
that's
didn't
even
evolve
worse.
to humans.
I think if
Or
it gets
apes
to a
evolved
point
to
where
humans.
one species of monkey thinks it's more important than another species of monkey, that's racism.
Well, no, because they're different species. So it's
they're
speciesism. They're not the same species.
I guess you're right.
It's like some of them evolved to humans and some of them didn't. Was it apes that evolved to humans?
Yips.
So if apes.
No, Sam. Evolution isn't a real thing.
Oh right, sorry. We actually evolved from fish.
Yeah.
That is actually a scientific theory.
What was that? Do you remember that science presentation we gave in like year 10 where we talked about that theory where we all came from that meteor that killed all the dinosaurs? That's where
Maybe,
humans came
vaguely.
from. Like we
That
were
was
bacteria on that meteor, and then
I think I remember that. That's like a theory. I don't know if that's actually a theory or that's something that we just came up with. I think
think
that's
it's a
actually a
theory.
generic theory.
I mean I can see that happening.
That's what I thought Alien was going to turn into. First, not Alien. Yeah, Alien. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Sam. You're right.
No, not Alien.
Predator. Cowboys versus aliens.
No,
This
it
is
is
the one I
Alien,
was-
the
this
one
is
with
the
the
one I was
red
looking for.
creators.
This is the one I was looking for, but yeah, but this is Peter's statement here, which is denying the monkey the right to sue under the US Copyright Act emphasizes what Peter has argued all along, that he is discriminated against simply because he's a non-human animal.
Oh my gosh.
Yes! It's a monkey! The monkey doesn't
Although-
care!
No.
Humans do have a tendency to put themselves above everything else. We are just slightly more intelligent
Again, though.
animals
Yeah, but we are more intelligent animals.
that happened to take over the world before anything else got the chance.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what if we went to a parallel universe where apes didn't evolve, but like birds
Slugs.
did, and there are bird humanoid-looking creatures
I want
that
to
are
see
taking
like
over the
slug
world?
humanoids.
Like Jabba
We're
the
not
Hutt.
talking about the news at all.
Isn't one of those president of the United States?
That's true.
Do you mean Jabba the Hutt, basically?
Oh, yeah.
A parallel universe ruled by Jabba the Hutts.
Parallel universe ruled by Hutts. That would work. Yeah. So yeah, the monkey case is stupid but really funny.
It is.
The monkey
That's the thing.
case.
That I love those kind of news reports that actually are technically quite innocuous,
Yeah.
but like it's just hilarious.
Are there
I think
any
it's
other
fun.
interesting news stories you guys know about?
I don't really.
The only other thing I can think about recently, it's not quite. It's a
I
little
don't,
more.
I don't want to talk about depressing news stories because I really know like a lot about the more like sad ones.
Like
I know nothing about
the only
news.
thing that comes into my head is
I always
the
avoid the news.
is the Dankula incident.
The what?
Yeah.
Can I explain this one?
Explain this one away, Taylor.
There is
Dank is in the old term or the new term?
probably the new one.
Oh.
There's a Scottish YouTuber that he didn't even. He basically trained
This
his.
is a bad start.
This is
He
this
trained
is
it. No,
awful,
this is
don't worry.
basically what it did. He trained his pug to do the give me your paw thing, but without like holding your hand out. He just trained his pug to like raise his paw basically.
He trained his
Yeah.
dog to do a Nazi salute when he said.
Oh.
Well, no, I think he.
Wow.
Oh well, I mean you
trigger
you can
was-
train a dog to
trigger
do
was-
anything.
Oh, the
Most
dog's not in the wrong here.
No,
He's
the
just
dog's
been
just-
fined £800 for it.
The
and
dog's just like
I have zero sympathy.
the dog's just like, oh, if I do that, I get a treat. If I get,
Well,
if
no,
I do
I
that,
mean,
I'll
it's
get
just-
a
His
you could-
girlfriend's dog, by the way. He did do this just to piss off his girlfriend.
I mean, you can train a dog to like jump if you say strawberry shortcake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's the dog doesn't like care what English word, well, I guess German words you use. But is like he made a video out of it where he'd like stick old Nazi like videos on.
Yeah.
Of like Hitler talking, and then he'd like sit his pug in front of it. And again, pugs can't watch TV, so it's kind of dogs can't watch TV, so he doesn't really know what's going on. But basically, the
And
dog
he got fined because it was like
because it was a
Well,
joke.
because basically strangely, right, the Jewish community in Scotland weren't too happy with the guy making a video, making a joke out of the Holocaust.
Sure, yeah.
So,
But when Jack and Dean make a sketch about not a Nazi pub, they don't get fined.
No, because they weren't the joke was it's about who the joke at the expense of. The joke in this Dan Killer video was really at the expense of 6 million murdered people.
Because
the Jack and Dean sketch was look how stupid the alt-right is.
Nazis are
and was
dumb.
very clear, very
clever.
Dan Killer's video was kind of not satire, but Jack and Dean's are. Because it's satire.
His video was like
satire is kind of making fun of powerful people to make them seem less powerful.
Oh, so that's not.
And
what
the Jack and Dean sketch
doing.
was really. The Jack and Dean sketch is, in my opinion, really good satire.
Yeah, actually,
it's really funny.
It's quite funny.
But
so this guy didn't do it in a jokey way.
This guy did it, but I don't think that at a certain point, it's just a joke doesn't matter, and when the it's just a joke is in reference to saying kill all Jews, you deserve whatever's coming to you. And I think it'd be a different story had he been.
Was it
had
that
his
person that made
sentence
the Lego version of the Holocaust that we saw in that film thing?
I think it would be slightly different had his sentence
Basically, it
been
was
prison.
insensitive, is what you're saying.
It was offensive.
Well, I don't think it was.
The court ruled that the material was grossly offensive, which I don't exactly know the specific legal stuff. I read the whole court statement from it because it was a really interesting read.
Interesting.
But
that sounds interesting.
No, it's an interesting system. It's an interesting situation.
What happened to the pug?
But the pug's his girlfriend. The pug's got nothing to do with him other than it being taught other than some asshole.
I guess it's not. I mean, personally, I don't find it that bad because I mean, it's not like he was.
It's context.
It's just a joke.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
But it's not just a joke when that's what the joke's about. This is the thing. A joke is all saying it's just a joke is all very well when you're saying it's just a joke about something that makes light of one of the biggest atrocities of the last century.
Yeah.
It's not just a joke. Every joke has context behind it, and the context is everything that has ever happened ever. And the context of that is what his video was joking about was genocide.
Yeah.
Of a group that has been attacked and persecuted throughout their existence, and unsurprisingly, it hurt, and that sort of thing hurts people. Yeah,
well, at least the pug's okay.
The pug's fine. The pug's.
I guess it would be an entirely different
Pug
story if he was saying like, "Oh, I'm training my pug to do this because like this is my belief system," but instead he was going, "Do you know what?
Everything.
This
if he was making fun,
this is funny because Nazis are stupid."
Yeah, if he was making
fun,
fun of,
that's what he was basically saying in the video.
If he was like doing the same way Jack and Dee did and making fun of
what I think is also there's a case of ambiguity as well. I watched a video. I watched it a couple times. Again, I've mentioned Lindsay Ellis in the last episode, and she did one about Mel Brooks and the producers. And it's the concept of I don't know if anyone who listening doesn't know, the producers is a Broadway production / film about two theatre producers who are basically trying to commit essentially I think like insurance fraud by creating a play that would get cancelled straight away. So they wrote a play called Springtime for Hitler. And there was a whole video about this and why that was good satire on that, and why making jokes of that is okay, but that doesn't generalize out, and that it's because the producer is unambiguously mocking of specific facets of fascism. It was mocking how unbelievably gaudy and over the top Nazi but also flimsy Nazi propaganda was.
So if the guy that did the pug video had made it so that him and his dog were making fun of Hitler and stuff like Jack and Dean did.
I bet you if you go on alt-right forums, that video was being shared around with people taking it straight. By people taking it as this guy
a quote from the video is, my girlfriend thinks, I'm paraphrasing, but he said, my girlfriend thinks that this dog is the cutest thing in the world, so I'm going to train him to do one of the least cute things that I could think of.
It's just
So he knows what he's like. He knows that it's.
Yeah, and he's
it's
still...
not like he's not like educated on the whole thing, and he doesn't know what a Nazi is.
No, I don't think. Which I think that makes well, because this was not an ignorance thing. This was a.
Just
he chose to do it. He knew what he was doing.
Joke, yeah.
He knew what he was doing.
He just did it wrong. It wasn't for the right. Well,
but what I was going for is what this had. As I said, like there is a certain amount of ambiguity in there, where if you take the video out of context, a dog doing a Nazi salute, that is something I bet you can. I bet I would. I haven't looked because why would I? But because what Liz was talking about in the video is how there's about films like American History X, which in text is critical of neo-Nazism, but apparently a lot of neo-Nazi groups really like the neo-Nazi imagery in the film because it makes it look kind of edgy and cool, which the producers doesn't. It's unambiguously look how stupid this is, and it's the same with Jack and Dean's Nazi bar. The joke is how absurd is this?
Yeah, but the guy didn't make
Again, it's the punchline at the end of like people tolerating Nazis. That would never happen in real life. Which I think that sketch is brilliant for multiple reasons. Sure. It's just really good comedy. But...
Any other news stories that you guys want to discuss?
Yeah, anything, because I will otherwise go on an hour about how I have how little sympathy I have for this man.
Going back to the really weak sounding, not very important headlines that I've heard to do with the royal family. Another one I heard a while ago was...
We'll go back to the happy royal family.
Another one I heard of was... this was a serious headline that they put in with all the other serious stuff. So I think it was like Trump and so have not been invited to the royal wedding. I was like, okay, do I really need to know? Is that really a headline? Is that really something I need to know? These people haven't been invited.
I guess it's kind of
wedding?
like a. Excuse me, sorry. I suppose it was kind of like a political thing.
I guess it can kind of. I mean, it's political if they have a whole debate and argument about it, but if it's just like these people haven't been invited to the royal wedding, headline done.
Apparently there was an accident.
How much can you talk about it?
Depends on who it is. That's the thing.
But I still can't get over the headline that was counted in with all the other headlines of the cake for the royal wedding. That is not a headline.
I think it's been a slow. I think like some days.
Gosh.
I think you also have to bear in mind some days are slow news days.
There's there's bound to be more interesting news to talk about somewhere.
Yeah.
More different positive stuff. Like people always say, "Oh, the news is so depressing." Yeah. That's just because the people on the news services only talk about the depressing stuff. They don't talk about any of the exciting stuff that's going on because no one knows about the exciting stuff. It's not bigged up enough. Like different charity events people are holding that are just small things, and new films that are being made, or books that are being published, or discoveries that are happening, or this person has done this amazing thing, or this has happened, and there's loads more good stuff that's going on. Just the news people never talk about it. That's what I personally think.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But for what it's worth, the best I will have to say what is the best news report I've ever found.
What is that?
Essentially, right, BBC, I think last year sometime, put out a news report, you know I'm going with this, but that was, for what it's worth, man makes sandwich at work.
Man makes sandwich at work.
Yeah. To mark British Sandwich Week, business reporter Douglas Shaw tried something new. Instead of buying pre-packaged sandwiches at a supermarket or making them at home, he made them at work with weekly ingredients. He recorded it all on his smartphone as a video diary.
See, we need more news like that. Funny, interesting, positive stuff.
So on the BBC News page, it has more things such as stolen egg sandwich worker reinstated.
So have you heard of Clickhole, Sam?
I guess.
Of what?
Clickhole and Onion.
It's basically they do stuff like that.
Oh no.
Where they just make up. I'll read you.
It's the same sort of stuff with Onion.
Yeah.
Made up stuff, or they just...
Yeah, they make it up.
A reporter who was fired for stealing a £4 egg bacon sandwich has been reinstated, following an outpouring of public support.
Oh, if it's not so it's not actually real headlines. They just
it's satire.
Yeah.
Some often in the case of the Onion.
So here's a
really good satire.
Here's a Clickhole article: making contact. Hundreds of alien civilizations have journeyed to Earth after finding out about walnuts. So they just make up like a bunch of
Yeah.
Dedication to the faith. Pope Francis stayed up all night making a Squarespace page for Catholicism.
Is there one there that says
Newborn Prince of Cambridge begins consolidating power by having family imprisoned in Tower of London.
What? Is that a?
It's an onion. It's an onion. Just an onion article.
Is that? Oh, is that a fake one?
Yeah, this is all fake.
Oh.
Naked Eric Trump run through state dinner pursued by screaming au pair.
Is there one on there that says man taken to boat held hostage and offered to turn entire sea into milk?
There will be very soon.
I just wanted to complete the full circle.
Melania Trump hosts state dinner in stunning black shroud of shrieking crows. There's a hard sentence to say. Shroud of shrieking crows.
Shroud of
I thought you said
shroud.
shroud of shrinking crows. I thought you said shroud of shrinking
So
crows.
the second episode.
Shrinking crows.
The second episode featuring Sean Connery.
Yes.
Yosh. We'll get him on for one episode. One day. Episode 74.
Yeah, probably a bit
With special
more.
guest Sean Connery.
Episode 1134, I'd have thought.
Got when we're like 60.
Yeah.
The TPP is still going to be going when there's 60 people. Calling it out.
When there's 60 people.
When there's 60 people.
60 of us.
I don't think we can fit 60 people around Adam's table.
We could try our darndest.
It's
We
hard.
could
It's
try
hard.
hard.
No, don't. It's hard enough to fit 6.
Because I'm
gosh.
genuinely I'm looking up on news sites for entertaining web
Yeah.
articles, but they're all so sad.
The world sucks.
Only because they only report the bad stuff.
When they report good stuff, it's sort of just kind of stupid. They're clawing at the dumbest stuff just to make the bad stuff not look.
Well, there's probably
Pretty
stuff
much.
out there if they just look hard enough.
Mm.
It's just
Yeah,
hidden.
but the question is like, it's one of those. That's probably is. But is it as the problem is the depressing stuff is also often quite important depressing stuff.
Well, I don't
Oh, here
know.
we
I
go.
don't watch the news, and so far,
Mexican cowboy
Fine.
stops armed robbery.
what?
Asda slip-ups sees shopper charged £930 and 11p for
For
one banana.
Yes, I've seen this. It's
See, that's something
Excellent.
you need to actually. That's the should be on BBC News.
So Bobby Gordon initially thought the supermarket had made a typo when it had sent the bill via email. Not least because the piece of fruit normally costs 11p. So apparently they got charged an extra £930.
How?
Go
How
because
does
I
it
think
muck up that much?
I don't know.
This is a bit of a computer bug.
I told my 7-year-old, "You must really enjoy this banana. You must cherish every mouthful."
oh
Oh, it was just a computer error.
Yeah.
yeah. It was. That's a fun one. I think it's good that you get weird things like that sometimes. Like not good for the person, I presume, who was charged £1,000 for a banana.
I remember when. Do you remember when you came round to my office? We walked to the shops and I got a meal deal, and I had loads of 20p's, and I kept on putting them in until it was like enough. And then there was only like 5p change, 15p change or something, and it dispensed like another 5 20p's, and I was like,
Yeah.
Did you put a few too many in?
I don't know whether it was just too slow in recognising what I put in. I put too much in, but I don't know.
Guys,
Okay, we're good.
there's been a hedgehog that swelled to the size of a beach ball after being injured. Guess what guess what they called it? Zeppelin.
Poor hedgehog.
Amazing.
Did he shrink back down eventually?
I think so.
Maybe.
No, he's just the world's biggest hedgehog.
It's just a giant head.
He's gonna breed with other hedgehogs. And there's gonna be a league of giant hedgehogs.
That's what Ant-Man needs to enlarge with is a hedgehog. Have a pet
hedgehog.
hedgehog. Imagine how painful that would be. A hedgehog about the size of about half as big as you, rolling into you. That'd probably be quite painful.
Yeah. Oh, that was great. Was about the like, because there were a couple of places live streaming just the outside of the hospital when the baby was born. But it was really entertaining because there's like YouTube put just a picture. But there were just people like walking along. We saw a couple of people taking selfies with police officers.
Why?
Because screw it.
Oh,
You might as well.
I don't get why people get so excited about the royal family.
I know.
There's nothing.
They don't really
about
do
them.
anything, do they?
They're normal people that have just been born into this family that have.
But that's important that it's relatively new that you think of people that way. The royal family are like throughout history were these, especially obviously back even sort of over the last 100 years.
Molecularly, they're literally
big-
the same as everyone else.
Yeah, but now they feel kind of sort of the same as everyone else. I've gone about this before, and think there's a really brilliant way. There's a really brilliant sort of thing that's changed in the royal family over the last sort of 20
I know what you
years.
mean, yeah. You know, the only thing that
Because-
excites me about the royal family
What?
is that I want to get to 100 and get a special letter from the Queen. That's the only
You
thing.
won't be. You won't be. Well, you might be. Let's face it.
That's the only thing.
The
That,
Queen will be pretty old.
yeah, it might not be from the Queen now.
It
Yeah,
will,
I just
it will
realised.
certainly be a king by then.
But I mean, that's the only
That-
thing that really excites me to do the royal
Probably
family.
William by that. By
I'm
that
just
point.
I'm just waiting for. I just want to get a letter from whoever's in power.
Mm. Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
Well,
that's
the-
all.
The thing is, what happened was
Did the
I
Queen
think-
write herself a letter when she turned 100?
she hasn't turned 100.
No, yeah.
When she turns 100, will she write herself a letter?
And let's face it,
That'd
it
be weird.
probably is when.
Yeah.
She just posts it to
Like,
herself.
let's face it,
like,
she's
"Oh, I got a
92
letter."
and she looks like 70 something. But she certainly doesn't look her age.
That's
No,
actually
sure.
that's another thing that interests me. Just all the Queen's cool hats that she wears, with all the flowers and stuff.
Good set. That was a good
They
set.
always match the rest of her suit as well. That's
Well, she doesn't just throw clothes on.
and she always looks
in the
very.
morning.
Actually, I was about to say she always looks very happy, but sometimes
No,
she's
she
caught
doesn't.
Off,
She very-
sometimes
she-
she's caught off guard and she looks really
Yeah,
grumpy.
no, sometimes she's caught off guard and she looks happy.
She acts angry and like
She always looks really grumpy. I don't think she normally is, but she
No,
certainly
yeah.
looks it.
she just that might just be her resting face. And then when does she still do that special like wave that everyone goes on
I
about?
presume so.
What is special about the wave? That wave?
Just rotates her hand.
Like what's so special about the wave?
It's funny. It's just such a weird way of waving, isn't it? Just to rotate your hand.
We're all doing this.
This
You
is-
can't
this is
see.
how-
We just
how-
take off.
It's how deaf people clap, isn't it? They do jazz hands.
I think that's true, actually. Yeah.
What?
That's how deaf people clap. Cause,
Why?
well, if someone's up on stage and they're deaf, they're not going to hear you clap, are they? So it's sort of just like sign language, so they can see that happening.
Oh, well, the person you're clapping for is deaf.
Yeah, or...
You said that's how deaf people clap. If
Well, yeah,
someone's
no, they do as well. Like that Adam Hill, that...
what? So if a deaf person is clapping for a non-deaf person, they don't clap. They.
Well, I guess, but like Adam Hill, that comedian, had a show, didn't he, where he had an interpreter,
Oh, maybe.
and there was like a group of deaf people, and he was having fun with the interpreter, because if you do different accents, I know
Right.
they have to do different signs for things. It's really
That's
fun.
very cool.
I learnt a bit of ASL and BSL, but I can't. remember very
I
much
started
now.
to. I used to know the alphabet.
Hmm.
Now I don't.
I could go through the alphabet, but I might mix up ASL and BSL.
Mm.
I don't know either, I should.
And then there's Pidgin Sign Language, which is meant to be a universal one, but not many people use it.
Pigeon sign language.
Pidgin, because have you heard of Pidgin language?
Oh, but
Which is-
I've heard of that.
Pidgin language is like meant to be a universal language, and there's Pidgin Sign Language, which is meant to be for the whole world to use, but not. But there's like so many different sign languages. Like there's one for basically every country. Like there is language,
Mm.
which is really annoying because I thought there was just one, but there's not.
Right, no,
Yeah.
you're right. I haven't talked about this yet, have I?
And I don't know why,
but
but there should be. There should just be one sign language because with sign language,
it's not one normal language.
No.
I know, but normal language you have like accents and stuff like that, but in signs, you don't need accents or anything like that. I mean, I guess there are some words that some countries have that others don't.
It's just sort of like regular language where it's kind of just developed over time.
I like
in a microcosm.
I like those words that like ancient languages have that don't have translations in English. Where someone's like, "What does that word mean?" And they're like, "Oh, it kind of means this deep anger or something like that."
Well, there's
It's
like
or
words from modern times that
interesting.
do that as well.
yeah, that don't translate between languages. Like,
Mm.
yeah.
They just kind of like one word.
It's
is,
used in like poetic stuff a lot. They're like, "Oh, there's this word that doesn't translate to English, and it's blah blah blah."
Well, that's true. That's the thing that happens. There are words
I think
that
the most
don't
famous-
translate properly.
The most famous one's probably Schadenfreude.
Schadenfreude. Yeah.
I'm trying
Oh,
to think if there's anything in the
oh,
news
yeah.
that I've heard of that's
There's
interesting.
that
Nope.
Hyug. That I think the Danish, the
Definitely.
Scandinavian country. That
There's some Filipino.
there's some
words
really
as well.
and there's some really cool. Like, of course, this is me saying this. There are some really cool Japanese words that don't translate properly, and it's cool. I
know Japan have a word for like the
News.
day before yesterday and the day after tomorrow.
probably yeah.
News. Did the BBC do anything for April Fools this year?
I
don't
think they might.
Because
have.
was it last year when they did the they pretended that someone had found a literal money tree? Was that last year? or the year before. That was BBC did a report. They were like, so and so has created a actual money tree or something like that. That was on the news.
That.
No, it was the pasta tree.
No, that was like
that's
1960s.
60s, yeah, the pasta tree, Sam.
Oh,
You're
the spaghetti farm.
You're a bit late there, my man.
I feel like the BBC should do a fake report every April Fool's.
I think April Fool's was quite quiet this year. I didn't really see much.
No, I mean it was on Easter, so that was
there's
probably
one.
why.
I'm sorry, it sounds an article.
Was it an April Fool's one?
It was on April Fool's Day. I can't work. I promise I don't really know.
Can't work out whether it was fake or not.
Yes, because the article is 10 stories that look like pranks but aren't. But it was also published on April Fool's Day, and it's kind of ruining my head.
Oh, you know that YouTube channel? You Suck at Cooking.
Mm.
He did a video on April Fool's that was like a really serious, non-joke video of just how to cook potatoes. How to boil potatoes. It was really weird because there was no jokes. It's just completely calm.
Yeah.
And like, have you seen Primitive Technology's new video? Builds a house.
No, I haven't seen that yet.
It's good.
Just build a round hut.
Yes.
I haven't seen it. I've seen the thumbnail.
His videos just always go straight to trending.
Would you guys ever do that? Just give up everything, just go live in like a forest?
Yes. Oh, Adam hates that.
No.
Adam's worst nightmare is going camping.
Because there are some people that just buy a forest, a plot of land, and then just don't go
there's
anywhere
this place that my mum
kind of
there's
sustain
this place
themselves.
that I go to camping fairly every year with my mum, sister, and some friends, and it's literally in the middle of the woods. And you set up your tent on a plot of land, and the only toilets they have are these compost toilets. And they have some showers.
I think eventually.
But you're only meant to try, because they don't have much water. All the water comes from tanks and is used by gravity.
Yeah, I think if I was like 60 or something and I didn't have anything else to do, I'd just go like buy
a cabin in the woods.
No, buy like a woods or a forest.
You'd have
or I'd go to like Florida or something and buy like a swamp area, so you have to sail through like 2 hours of really thick water.
So you can just shout at people, "Get out of my swamp!"
Well, no, like to get to my hut. To get to my hut, you'd have to like row through like really muddy water for 2 hours.
What, you build your hut yourself, or would you get at 60?
Yeah.
Like, my back, trying to pick up a whole log.
Well, no, the only
a whole tree.
The only way you'd be like that at that age is if you didn't like exercise your whole life. You can see like 80-year-old people like that are really well built and can do anything.
Well, that happened recently, didn't it?
I found it. So I was talking about that quote, the specific quote I was trying to find from the Naruto thing, the monkey.
Okay.
Naruto, this was Jeff Kerr, the General Counsel for People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, said Naruto should be considered the author and copyright owner, and he shouldn't be treated any differently from any other creator simply because he happens to not be human. I just love the wording. It's like, that's really funny.
Yeah. So if a monkey,
despite the fact it's the brain of the size of a peanut.
So if a monkey was to like murder another monkey, he's basically saying we could arrest them for murder and take them through court and everything.
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
Man bitten by shark, previously attacked by bear and snake.
Wow, that's unlucky.
Well,
You're more likely to get killed by a vending machine than you are a shark.
No, so good thing he didn't die then. Well, that's the thing. I don't think he's like incredibly unlucky. I just think
he's just really dangerous.
No, maybe he's just really stupid and gets too close to the dangerous animals.
Thankfully, Sky News has a section on their website for weird news articles.
That's useful.
Yeah. He's only 20.
Well, this guy that's had all this stuff. Maybe he's just like. What if he's just an average guy and he just does normal stuff, but somehow he's extremely unlucky?
No, I just think he's stupid, really.
Probably.
If you get that close to a bear or a snake, that
maybe that's what it is. Everyone else that does like stuff to get good luck, like horseshoes and everything, they're just taking his good luck. He just gets all the bad luck. Yeah. That's how it works. That's how luck works.
Every time you find a good luck charm or something, he just like his luck gets worse.
He has like a little like a stepometer, but it's like for luck, and it tells him it's constantly in the red, in the minus. And he wakes up and he's like, it's gone down again.
Negative.
And he's just like I need to be careful today.
He's waiting for someone to.
He opens the door a little bit and just looks out, and it's clear. And he's like, okay. He steps out, and then the car comes out of nowhere right in front of him.
He's waiting for someone to shoot him and then take a photo and upload it to the internet every day.
Gateshead Council has essentially had to clarify that their traffic lights with experimental 5G transmissions on don't kill people don't cause cancer. And like,
What?
That's funny.
no, in fact, no. Clarifies they were not in fact testing 5G. That was nonsense. It was normal old. Nothing happening.
Yeah.
Also, apparently the hedgehog with what they call here balloon syndrome got to go home. So I
Yeah.
think it must be okay.
They
Maybe
didn't
they just-
clarify whether he was the same size or not. He might just be a massive hedgehog, which that would be nice.
Maybe he just
I mean, maybe not, but
he just let out a really long fart and just deflated.
so.
Pet owners warned over rise of zombie raccoons.
Oh,
What? There is actually a. I remember I think it was last year. I got suddenly very obsessed with the zombie virus and
Oh
stuff.
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And I
You
got
were
a.
just like, it's real, guys.
I mean, it is, but I'm not that obsessed with it anymore. I'm like, well, hopefully it won't happen in my lifetime because I'm not prepared at all.
Oh yeah,
well.
the Beano. Did I tell you about what the Beano tweeted a while back?
The Beano's in that weird
Comics.
comic. Yeah.
A few weeks ago, Beano sent a tweet out saying it's come to our attention that Jacob Rees-Mogg has been masquerading as Beano character Walter Brown, a clear breach of our copyright, with them attaching a fake cease and desist letter to the tweet.
What?
It's basically like this politician looks a lot like one of their characters.
And it's kind of the worst.
Well, yeah, the character in general is just like a kind of a sniveling,
the
a sniveling idiot. So it's kind of funny that they'd liken him to that.
I found a part of the internet that I don't know much about.
It says, yeah,
The news.
This constitutes a clear infringement of our copyright, and we draw your attention to numerous instances of you distinctly copying the following attributes of the character Walter Brown as your own invention, including the character's hair and parting in style, the character's distinctive round reading glasses, the character's choice of spotty ties and vintage apparel, the character's enjoyment of classical music because he thinks it makes him seem clever, the character's bullish behaviour with peers and stopping others from having fun, the character's insistence to remind others of his father's successful career, and snootiness.
What a way to get to
Like
own
dig into
someone.
them, yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It's
See, this is the stuff the news should do, not like who's going to make the royal family's wedding cake.
This is more interesting. Kim Jong-un told to stop smoking by South Korean envoy. That is brave.
Could you imagine? Could you
No,
imagine they
tell
didn't
him to
even
smoke
recognise
more.
him? Could you imagine
That's
they didn't
fair
even
point.
recognise
You
him?
should
And
tell
just
him
like,
to smoke more.
excuse me, sir, you can't smoke here. And they're like, do you know who I am? I'm like, no, but I know you're someone who can't smoke here. And they just don't recognise him at
Yeah.
all. That'd be funny. Like someone that doesn't. Imagine that. Someone doesn't know who Donald Trump is or something, and then he comes along and they're like, excuse me, sir, you can't do this. And he's like, do you know who I am? No, but I do know
Should
that
I
you're. Should I care?
You're a pain.
Yeah.
Although
Also,
they would
apparently-
probably realise if they're like surrounded by bodyguards and stuff, that it's someone important.
Also, apparently, sliced ketchup has raised
sliced what?
sliced ketchup.
Sliced.
What's there to
ketchup.
think about, Simon? It's
It's
quite-
ketchup, but in slices.
It's very ordinary. That's gotta feel weird to eat, though.
But it's just raised more than $30,000 on Kickstarter.
No.
It sounds just like
Is this just one
adding
of those?
some chemicals to your chemicals, really.
Is it one of
Unless
those
they use
things where,
natural
like, you know how stubborn some old people are to accept
Apparently-
change?
Apparently
No,
it's
you
an
know
old
how
family
if
recipe
you like,
here.
you know how if you get like
Apparently-
some
apparently
ketchup
it's-
around the ketchup lid and it goes crusty. Is that
Apparently-
just what they've done? They've
Yeah.
squirted it out, spread it out, and let it go crusty.
Let it dry.
Oh,
I'll be
that's
honest,
disgusting.
Sam. I think that's basically what's happened. Yes.
I think I'm
They
just
just,
gonna
they
All
just filled
natural,
the
apparently.
they filled
take
like
a break to go and
they filled like a rubber tube
Be
full
sick.
of full of ketchup, waited for it to harden, and then
Oh.
sliced it.
put it through one of those ham slices.
Yeah. Oh.
I don't
think
you're too far off there. I'm going to be honest.
Could you imagine someone, you're like, can you hand me a slice of ketchup, and they throw it and you miss it and it sticks on the window.
They're like frisbee
Giraffe
kids, yeah.
unharmed
It just slows
after
down and
smashing
leaves a
window.
smear.
I'm glad the giraffe's not harmed. What about the people?
The window's harmed.
Oh.
The window's kind of
You
screwed.
could imagine, throw me a slice of ketchup, and so throw it, just sticks on the window and slides down.
Can you chuck me a giraffe real quick?
Ah, you broke the window!
Oh, sorry.
Just an entire
I
giraffe.
missed.
That's
Um,
I tried to catch some fog the other day. I
I
missed.
missed. Yeah. Classic.
Prince
I need to
Charles
tell
said
you-
he may never. I don't know the context, but
War royal family.
Prince Charles admits he may never fit into budgie smugglers again as he approaches his 70th birthday. So there's
I mean, good.
a mental image. That...
Oh, I've got to tell you about the joke I told this morning. Since Tam told a bad joke, I will also.
Go on.
My life's a bad joke.
Okay, that was it actually. You really no.
Me.
A ice cream van man died today.
Okay.
He was found with a hardened chocolate sauce and sprinkles on his head. Turns out, police say he topped himself.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Thank
I
you.
like that.
Thank you.
I'm happy with that as a
Do you
joke.
know how all those
Better
ice
than
cream
Sam's
vans
joke,
have
yeah.
a sign on the back saying, like, watch out for children?
Yes.
What children in this day and age chase after ice cream vans? They wait for them to pull up and then you go, Mummy, I can have an ice cream. And then mum or dad reluctantly gives them some money and then they come out.
I think the whole idea behind that is that there's going to be like kids around this van, so please drive slowly.
If you're like, yeah.
That was a good one. That was a good recent little thing that happened. Tom Holland had to get Chris Hemsworth to buy him a drink in a bar because no one in the bar could actually believed him that he was old enough to drink.
That's brilliant.
How would no one reckon? I guess they just don't know who he is.
Well, he's
Well, no, they recognise
he's famous
him,
for
but he
playing a
looks.
15-year-old, Sam.
He's
Yeah.
very baby-faced.
Yeah.
So Chris Hemsworth had to buy him a drink.
I still
Thor
find
Like,
it
he's
so
21.
funny. I
Thor
still find
bought
it so
Spider-Man
funny
a
when
drink.
that interview of
Thor
Tom
bought
Holland
Spider-Man.
on the
Can
Graham
they-
Norton show where they're asking him
I don't
questions
know
about
anything.
Infinity War. He's like,
Haven't
I
seen
don't
the
know.
script. I don't know. I literally know nothing.
Just that moment when he's like, so this is a picture of you in your suit, and Tom Holland's like, oh, that's the first time I've seen it actually. And he goes, so is this suit, is it made out of metal? And then Tom Holland's just like, I don't know.
Like he did it in a mocap suit. I
Yeah.
think.
Oh yeah, he did. He said he was on set with all these people wearing like really great costumes made from like the world's best fabric sewer, and he's just
Yeah.
wearing like a green screen costume from
That's the
Marks and
thing, though.
Spencer's.
You can CG like anything, pretty much. You can
Yeah.
CG like entire like mountain ranges and
Or you can CG to make the sea into milk.
yeah.
if you wanted
know,
to.
no, I mean like
I just wanted to
convince.
full
You can
circle
be
back again.
convincing.
You do like your full circles.
you can be like
Do you like
really.
your full circles?
Oh goodness, Clickhole. I'm sorry, I've just gone on Clickhole's Tumblr. There are some good things here.
Here we go.
A Zamboni just performed the first ever quadruple axel in Olympics history.
Oh, no.
The NRA is releasing a commemorative line of AR-15s to raise money for the Parkland victims.
Oh no.
The sort of. What else we got?
Video.
Sad news for everyone in the forest. There is a rat in the forest.
There is a rat in the forest.
This needs to be a game that we play. Is it Clickhole or like news?
Real-
news
real
that
news or
happened?
fake news?
Oh, good. Is Clickhole going to become the next Watch Mojo?
Is that
Yeah.
what it's going to be? Is this real news or fake news?
Is this Clickhole?
What should we call
Or it could be is this Clickhole or
That's
the
what we
Onion?
should call it. We should call it
That'll be a-
newsworthy
Clickhold.
or not.
This would be a difficult
That'll be
game.
a fun one.
Is this Clickhole or is this the Onion? Because I think the Clickhole are a bit more absurd in their. They're like a bit more surreal in their kind of thing, but the Onion's quite believable. That's what I feel.
Man chased
They're not, but
Man chased through street overnight as he claims to be chased by 10 1-foot-sized ninjas. It's a reference to last episode.
watch that if you haven't.
Every time.
Because problem is, we recorded this in a block of 2 episodes.
Yeah.
So you guys, it's been like a month since you've seen the last.
For us, it was instant.
For us, it was about half an hour. actually.
Real time, when you're listening to this, we would have completely forgotten everything we're saying now.
Unless for some reason you're watching this on a podcast, really the last one you watched was probably instant. Why
That
would
was-
you?
what
Why
was
would you
the
watch this? I don't know. Why would you watch this in a playlist? I suppose if you have like 6 spare hours.
Yeah.
Just on a train.
What train journey lasts 6 hours?
Change
A
road to
long train
France.
journey.
Joni.
Wasn't
Wasn't that the character from Spy Kids?
Wait,
Wasn't that the girl character from? No, the ginger kid's name in Spy Kids.
Junie.
Junie.
Well, I don't even
these films
remember.
are brilliant.
There are so many Spy
Um,
Kids films.
There were 4, and they were about to make an animated series on Netflix.
Oh, cool. That'll be
I'm
fine.
hesitant, but it's kind of a cool idea.
The only one I remember is that 3D one with the weird fun people. Wait,
Yeah.
no, that
No,
was,
that was
Fun
all of
People
them.
is-
that
Sam.
was two
People
different
is-
ones.
Some people, I'm pretty sure the fun people are in most of them.
Do you remember the 3D one
first
where they
one-
go into the video game?
Yeah,
Which
the
one?
first
That was
one-
free,
That's the
wasn't
third
it?
one.
The first one was the weirdest one to me. That one was like, "Help us, save us!" Like,
Oh yes.
with the
Oh,
weird
that's
like
weird.
clay-headed people.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
that
that's
was
great.
freaky.
Where they go to that weird island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
with
What was
Dr.
the
Flump
second,
or
what was the
something.
second one then?
The second one was the one with what's his name?
Saying an actor probably won't help.
What's the plot?
Weird island full of weird giant.
Oh, the one with
monsters.
Steve Buscemi in
Steve
it.
Buscemi.
The one with Steve, and he goes, "Do you think?
We've gone off topic,
What was
but
it?
that
Do you
was-
think that God hides in heaven because he's afraid of what he created?"
Oh.
It's like a really
Such a profound
existential,
line, it's such
a profound line. It's so dumb.
What I love though is who made it, because those films were directed by Robert Rodriguez, whose
Yeah.
other famous films are like stuff he's done with
Desperado.
Quentin Tarantino.
And Desperado and stuff.
And
The most recent Spy Kids actually
No.
came out not too long ago compared to the other ones.
No, it was.
No, don't remember. It was the one.
2014?
It was the one that was in 4D with the weird, smelly, scratchy
it was-
cards
it
that
wasn't-
all smelt the same.
Yeah.
Great, but
Did you ever see it in cinemas? They gave you the scratch cards,
I don't think I used the scratch.
but the smells, I swear, all smell exactly.
Yeah,
the
I don't
same.
think I bothered using them past like the first two because I realised it's not much
Pointless.
point.
Wasn't the
Oh,
dude
dear.
that made Spy Kids made?
It was the weird one with the guy that could
I'm
control
sorry.
time or something.
Correct.
That was the most recent one.
No, he also directed Shark Boy and Lava Girl. By the way,
I remember
Yes,
that.
it was, that
I'm
was-
very.
Shark Boy and
I
Lava Girl
apologise
was
for confusing Robert
It's weird.
Rodriguez with Antonio Banderas. That's
Who was
happened.
also in Spy Kids.
Yeah, that happens a lot to me, and it's very, very, very
Well,
frustrating.
We've gone
Yeah.
completely off topic. Shall we end the episode?
Ah,
Does anyone
yeah.
have any more new stuff? Because
No,
I don't.
I can't find any more new stuff. This was a
know nothing about it.
interesting episode. I'm not convinced.
I think it was just us kind of just chatting.
We will cut something together from
Yeah.
it. That is
Woo.
something that will certainly happen.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap of the
Podcast,
day.
Sam.
It's a wrap of the day.
It's not a wrap. It's.
Sorry,
I
it's an
think we might have
enchilada.
some if you want.
It's an enchilada.
He's just really hungry.
It's a taco.
Right.
It's a
It's
soft,
over.
soft tortilla.
So this
Pasta. Sorry.
that's all for today.
Sandwich.
We are going to be doing some experimental stuff, possibly
Yay.
with videos so you can see our faces over
Yeah.
the summer,
Ooh.
and possibly some other normal
gonna-
episodes as well.
Are we going to tease a little bit about what the videos are about, or are we going to leave
No.
it in the dark?
Some of it may involve food, some of it
Yeah.
may involve
PowerPoint.
PowerPoints, some of it
Some-
may involve dice. I have been Adam. You can find me at
And some of-
__ on Twitter.
And I'm Sam from Elsday Productions. You can find us on the social medias at Elsday Productions.
And I'm Inky Doodle, and you can find me in your garden playing the piano.
This-
I feel like this is another like
That's
a really
a fun game. We're
This
gonna
is
edit
like a
all
fun
of your-
thing.
Yeah.
I introduce myself and just like, and you'll because you say you'll find me on Twitter, and I go, you'll find me doing this.
This has been the Traumatised Pineapple Podcast. Thanks for listening.
Oh.